Alright, back. I'm going to continue on. This is the vlog for 11/6/20. This will be my second vlog. What can I say? Trucking is not for everybody. I have my own doubts myself. I make really good money, and I have a pretty good rapport with the managers and the owners, the owner and the company. So I don't want to go anywhere. But this, unlike physical jobs, is mental. It's all mental. As for instance, right now, I won't disclose how long I've been driving. I won't incriminate myself and say how many miles, but it's been a little ways. And one of the things is you get super tired when you're driving. It's your body's way to tell you, body's way of saying, hey, I want to sleep. And me, I'm a sucker to it. I see all these truck stops and the rest areas, and I want to pull right in. I want to join the party. So my problem is, as soon as I lay down, I'm like, my mind's like, you gotta go, you gotta keep going, so I end up laying down for 5 minutes, and I'm back up again, and then, because I have to, if I want to keep my time, my gold time right now. I would say I'm at bronze. It doesn't really matter at this point whether I'm late or what. But I got a little shorty waiting for me. Got my little baby waiting for me. She comes to visit me. She'll fly into a different state. I'll meet her and she'll hang out. And now the truck's a fucking mess. There's bags everywhere. There's pistachios that I was eating, crumbs on my shirt. This is a new truck, so I don't have my favorite attached to the seat. If you have one of those and your truck is a mess, you're just a slob, because there's no reason that your truck should be a mess if you have an air hose. I mean, I use it for everything. I use it to dry off my slides after I shower. I air out my fart. Of course, I lock her in with the windows and everything. But so on my first vlog, I was just disclosing information about the CDL schools and the different pros and cons of them. I wouldn't recommend anybody go to CR England. It's not worth it. Unfortunately, if you don't have money to buy the CDL, you have to rely on these schools, and it's a trap. It's a massive trap. And I give it to them. They have their school set up nice, and restaurants and stuff. Company, you're not going to make any money with CR England, I promise. Unless you stay there and you put up with all the crap that you got to put up with for a year, then you get $1,200 a week. And I know I've been quoting a lot, but so I'll just start speaking it. You get supposedly $1,200 a week, and I'm pretty sure that's before taxes. So $900 a week to be a trainer is just not worth it. Like the guy I was talking about in the last podcast or the vlog, Ismail. He told me, I ran into him, occasionally you run into people that you went to school with. We all change. He said he had gotten in a fight with somebody he was training and lost his job as a trainer. So, and our attitudes changed too. I know when I first started doing this, I was very talkative and whatnot. And I feel bad for men like myself who already have a hard time communicating. So when we have our women, that are just, they don't understand, they try to relate to see what it's like out here on the road. We're really the ones losing sleep. We're stressed out. We're eating, more. Another thing is excessive weight gain. I've gained dumb weight. I've gained dumb weight. And it's tough to keep it off because you're not active. You might go for a run or something if you can. But it's very much different than home life. You have the luxury of showering right after your run, at the house. You can go however long you want. You're usually rested here. You're not rested. You may or may not be by shower. If you're not by shower, your truck's going to stink and smell like sweat because you live in this truck. So much stuff. So it's, it gets lonely out here. I know when I first started, I was always observing other truckers, and I kind of had this attitude like, hey, we're all in this together. We're brothers, we're all experiencing the same pain. Truth, it couldn't be more far from the truth. One, we're not experiencing the same pain. You can't say that, a condo and a day cab go through the same thing. These guys, they drive for 8 hours, they clock out. Or maybe 11 hours, they clock out. Most OTRs, dedicated routes, we are just driving. I told my girl today, I said, it feels like that I'm glued to the seat. I'm a slave to the seat. I'm a slave to this wheel. But I get paid. So that's the great thing. So another thing is some truckers, I'll just put it like this, they haven't gotten punched in the mouth. Or maybe they forgot what it's like. They just get bucked. Because, I've seen some pretty rude, disgusting, inhumane things happening. Guys cussing each other out. And I'm just going, man, better him than me, because I don't know how I would react. I mean, I might stay in my truck, I might not. But we're not brothers out here. If you notice with the driving, when you first started driving, every man for themselves. In my first 2 months out here, I've gotten passed because I was going slow in the middle lane. So, dude passed me, honked, flipped me off, and it's just like, I guess it's like we're driving trucks, but in all reality, we're just driving. Like everyday drivers. Like if you drive on the street, you have somebody flick you off. That's just people. It's the same people behind the 18-wheelers. So it's not for everybody. I can't give up. I have 3 kids out there. I have my woman, and honestly, I'm appreciative. I love having a great boss, a great company, and making the type of money to where when I go on vacation after a month and a half, I can afford to do vacation things. Maybe rent a jet ski, rent a 4-wheeler, do an Airbnb, get a hotel for a week on the beach, and not come back like broke. Like, damn, I shouldn't have done that, Or, when I was working jobs, making $300 a week, like, how do you save up to do these type of things, working that when you have bills? It's, it's amazing to think that what I'm making now versus what I was making back then, I mean, you can barely live off $500 a week. And I remember at one point in time getting a construction job going, oh, I'm making $600 a week. This is great money, I'm getting excited going, let me call these motorcycle people up, and see about I can get a down payment in like 2 months. And now I'm like, I could do about a down payment in like 2 weeks. Or I could buy a motorcycle, if it's on sale in 2 or 3 weeks. Cash, Like, God is great. I don't want to be so quick to say God is good, because maybe that this stuff just happened because of, who we aligned ourselves with as we were younger. And we meet these people later and they come in handy. Because I've been on my ass, I've been down and out for months at a time going, where's God at during all this? I remember my kids, if you have kids, it's another thing. Don't do this if you have kids. You may or may not. Some guys, I have friends, they have like one son. They're like, oh no, I'd never do that. I could never do that estate thing. You got to. I was running out of options. I was really running out of options. Tired of working in the sun. Tired of busting my ass for lousy pay. Tired of working with alcoholics and drug addicts. It's no good. So I'm a very non-influenced person, and I would rather not be around that. You see it. This is what it is right now. I would show you guys around. The truck is a mess, though. It's like, it's not that there's nowhere to put stuff. It's that I have too much. So, like, the miscellaneous stuff is just sitting around. So, this is great. This is great. Talking to myself, to be honest. I don't know who's all going to watch this. I'm sure that I can reach out to a crowd, though. It's like, I just want to ask you guys, is this really what you want to do? Can you handle this? There's a lot of factors to it. Everybody freaks out, is freaking out saying that the COVID crisis has changed the way people think and has influenced their moods, and depression has risen. So if you're one of those, the way I look at it is I've already been to the box. I've been to, isolation. I've been to general pop. I grew up in programs. This trucking is nothing. This is a very lonely job. I know there was some documentaries or some videos and some statistics saying that trucking has the most, like the highest rate of depression / suicides, because we're out by ourselves, for months at a time or weeks at a time, depending on how hard you want to run. And even if we have teammates, we're usually sick of them by a month and a half. And suddenly when they leave, or when you're by yourself, you kind of miss the bullshit, like that song, Rather Feel Pain Than Nothing at All. So I personally, it doesn't bother me. I go to these fuel stops, I go and get my food, and I'll go fill up, take a shower, I'm in and out. I don't like to stick around. I don't like to deal with the different personalities of people. For instance, one guy yesterday, big ass Dan, Big Dan from Roseanne, come walking in, just looking raggedy, man. I'm not saying that I dress like to impress, but I've learned to buy nice clothes. Like, I guess there's, unfortunately, this doesn't refer to you guys. There are some truckers out there that they're not making much to buy much. But to you people who are out there that just dress like a raggedy ass, Goodwill outfit, like you just threw some shit together, come on, you guys are making way too much money. So he comes walking up, and it's like, he goes up to the line at Carl's Jr. It's like 10:30 in the morning. Guy goes, "How are you, sir?" He goes, "Oh, I'm not doing good." He's like, "I had to come in and get lunch." "It's your fault." So then I go, and apparently he was been out of shape because they couldn't make his food fresh until 11. So he goes out complaining to the store lady, and she's just like, "Oh yeah, that sucks." And he goes, when the people are talking crap, and then they look at you like, well, I'm not her, I'm not gonna be like, "Oh yeah, man, that's horrible. What kind of place is this?" And he just looked back at her and he's like, "Yeah, that's why I'll never leave. I'll never come back to this state again." I'm thinking, hopefully not, bro. Old grumpy, just everybody's wrong type of attitude. Everybody's fault. So, anyways, looks like, Dan from Roseanne. So, but ask yourself, do you really want to do this? I've come to the conclusion that I've done just about everything else. I won't disclose things that I really wanted to do that I couldn't because of destiny. I do believe in destiny. I believe that when we're kids, you have rappers and gang members saying, "Oh, well, when I was 11, they threw a shotgun in my hand and I had to go do a mission to gain respect." I believe it. I buy it because I feel like when we're young and we're kids and teenagers, we're influenced by pretty much whatever's in front of us. For instance, with me,